So now, in the recent past, there has been a sustained push for exhumation of the late Field Marshal Dedan Kimathi's remains. Kimathi is said to be buried at the Committee GK prison with his both hands and legs still in shackles. To this form of burial, to some, this form of burial has kept his spirit in bondage despite the country attaining the independence it fought for while to others, the current generation owes the freedom fighter a decent reburial. And as Ken Gashuhi reports, the quest, however, faces a myriad of challenges, some of which sets the country on a ticking timer.
The current administration has expressed its commitment to support efforts of tracing and exhuming the remains of the late Mau Mau warrior Dedan Kimathi, who is believed to have been buried at the Committee Maximum Prison. This is the first time since independence that an administration in power has taken this position.
I am going to call a meeting of 10 leaders of Mau Mau, the senior ones, from the 11 counties ya Mulima Kenya, wakuje pange la kwangu Sagana, tupange. Waende kamete wakae hata kama ni mwezi moja mwezi mbili.
In October 1956, Field Marshal Dedan Kimathi was captured by British colonial forces in the Aberdare forest. He was held at the Committee prison, after which he was sentenced to death and executed on February 18, 1957. At that time, Brigadier John Kiboko, another Mau Mau warrior and close ally of Kimathi, was serving a 9-year sentence at the same prison.
We insisted that Kimathi is not buried in a mass grave. We were made to dig a grave which was not beyond 4.5 feet.
Brigadier Kiboko revealed this during the funeral of Kimathi's wife, the late Field Marshal Mukami Kimathi, who died in May this year. Calls for Kimathi's exhumation had been started by Mukami, and this remained her last wish, but she died before it could come true.
Mukami used to tell me to insist on Kimathi's exhumation. She wanted to rebury her husband with respect before her own death.
Serikali ya Kenya itaungana na nyinyi, tutafute mahali huyo shujaa alizikwa na hiyo aibu, tumtoe pale ili tumpatie heshima inayotoshana na shujaa.
Brigadier Kiboko, who was to lead in tracing the unmarked grave in the prisons, however became sick days later, putting the process on hold. After battling with a long illness, Kiboko died on August 18th, further complicating the process before it could even take off.
Prime Minister umesema niko na deni ya huyu mzee, that is true. You are right. Huyu Kiboko Brigadier aliomba Rais William Ruto ya kwamba anajua pahali shujaa wetu Field Marshal Kimathi alizikwa. Lakini wiki moja tu kabla hatujapanga akakuwa na shida. Ndio ametuacha. That commitment is still there.
With Brigadier Kiboko and many other inmates of their time now deceased, the state will have to rely on the few who are still alive. In his narration, the late Kiboko had mentioned that he and 2 other inmates and an African prison warden knew where the grave was. Apart from their age and failing strength, it is also likely to be a tall order for them to remember the exact location of the grave over 66 years later. In the last 6 decades, the prison has also undergone infrastructural upgrade, with the possibility that the grave site was unknowingly interfered with or a structure set up on it. If located, will there be traces of Kimathi's remains which were interred without a coffin or any form of preservation 6 decades ago? Ken Gashuhi, KTN News.
So in order to combat